Hey friends, in this video we're going to be talking about 7 more shoot 'em ups for the Xbox 360. Let's go! Really quickly, now 3 of the 7 are local games, but the other 4 are imports, and like the other videos we're going to be putting the ESRB rating or PEGI rating or Zero rating in the upper left hand corner so you know what you're getting into. Let's start it off with Deathsmiles. With Deathsmiles, there's a few different game modes here. However, you can tweak the game settings to your liking. So you can adjust the game difficulty from 1 to 4, number of lives from 1 to 5, even the damage that the enemies do. The first 6 levels you can select to do in whatever order you want. Hang on, I take that back. You can do the first 3 in whatever order, then it goes to the second set, and then you alternate back and forth till you've finished all 6. The action is very quick and colorful. The background music is alright, but it doesn't add too much. The bosses and enemy animations are very well done, and it adds a lot of character to them. Some of the levels you actually travel vertically through, and it gets a little tedious trying to shoot left and right, but it's manageable. On some levels, about 40% of the time you're actually shooting to the left, which is interesting. Most games use it for all of 2 minutes and then you're done. This one actually invests a little bit more time into it. Like in a few other games, if you just hold down the button, you'll automatically fire, but you'll also move more slowly. This can come in handy when you're trying to finesse through a field of bullets, though the slowdown actually doesn't appear in the arcade version. One thing about Deathsmiles though, is it gives you 0 story until you get through the first 7 levels. Then suddenly the story explodes and you have actual context as to why you're doing what you're doing. It's definitely a unique shoot 'em up, and it's a good addition to your collection. Next game we're going to talk about is Raiden IV. Now, under Raiden IV, you actually have a couple different options here. So, your lives, you can go from 1 to 5, and your bombs, you can go from 1 to 7. Also, you can bring a friend here, so you can play local co-op as well, which is great. The difficulty options range from practice, very easy, normal, original, hard, very hard, and ultimate. The background music isn't techno, but it's fast enough that I would definitely say it helps lend speed to the game. The backgrounds scroll by beautifully, and the game gives you just enough time to get comfortable and enjoy them before springing something on you. The bad guys are varied, as well as their shot patterns that are coming at you. Some instances when the screen gets full of bullets, you can actually see a decent way out, but you might not always make it unless you let up on that fire button. As you're going through the game, you can pick up upgrades as well for either red, blue, or purple, upgrading your shot to whichever one you picked up most recently. The game does only let you continue a certain number of times before you're done, but on the next go round, you actually have another credit towards continuing again. It's a good way to get you to keep playing the game and continuing through it. There's no gimmick here, it's just get in and blow stuff up. The artwork here and the detail is beautiful as well, and the explosions are a sight to behold. I'm very happy that I have this game in my collection. Next game we're going to talk about is called Wartech, Senko no Ronde. It's a versus style shoot 'em up, so you're playing against only one other person that's also in a mech suit. It's actually an interesting take on the game. Difficulty options are very easy, normal, hard, and very hard. There's a training mode as well, which helps you learn the game a bit, but there's no formal tutorial to speak of to show you the ropes. There are 8 different characters to select from when you're starting up the story mode. You're fighting at range or close up while trying to outmaneuver your opponent's shots, while also trying to land yours at the same time. The rings around your ship denote your reload status for a given weapon. As they change from red to green, you can then fire that weapon again. Holding down your shield button will actually change how your primary weapon fires. It's fun and it has a good look and concept to it. However, it should either be quicker to heighten the intensity or slower to allow for more strategic moves, planning, and execution. It's not the best game, that's for sure, and for a North America release to be not voiced in English is a bit of a letdown. You can read the text on the screen, but it complicates the gameplay that you're trying to do 2 things at once. It's an okay game, but I wouldn't really rush out and pick it up. Now we're going to talk about a game called Dodonpachi Saidaioujou. Hopefully I got that right. The difficulty options here range from easy, normal, hard, and very hard. And by the way, easy is super easy. It's bright and colorful, but there's very heavy use of the color purple here. It's a fun game, but the explosions are very large, even on the smaller enemies. so much so that it can get hard to see what you're trying to dodge or collect. There's a lot of conversation going on here, none of which I understand, so it may be something you want to turn off in the options. Each pilot has their own shooting pattern, which they do demonstrate when you're selecting them, so you can choose according to your playstyle. And each one has a spread and a focus fire option as well. You do have a hypershot berserker mode as well, which definitely helps in laying down some hurt on the bad guys. When you finish a game and you don't exit or quit out, you'll actually get coins that you can spend on wallpaper or different gameplay options. It's a cool twist on it to get people to play the game a bit more. It's a fun game, but there are some times when it's just hard to see a clear path through the bullets where you can escape. But it's fun. I enjoy it. Next game we're going to talk about is called Eschatos, and there's actually 3 games on here: Judgment Silvergun, Cardinal Sins, and Eschatos itself. With Eschatos, you have a couple different options here: Original, Advanced, and a Time Attack mode. The Original and the Advanced options have an easy, normal, and hard difficulty, and there is a 4th option here as well, which looks like it'll probably unlock as you're playing through. As you're playing through the game, the perspective sometimes changes, which definitely keeps you on your toes and paying attention. Like a few of the other shoot-em-ups, when you die and you run out of credits, on your next go-round, you'll actually get another credit. The game is fun, but there's not really any special mechanics that make it stand out from any other shoot-em-up per se. But it's 3 games that you can play, and it's a nice addition to the collection. Next game on the list we're going to talk about is called Ginga Force. And this is one of the few shoot-em-ups that it's a single player only. One aspect of the game is that on some of the levels, your view aspect will change. Not for long, but just enough to keep you paying attention. As you play, you earn credits, which you can then spend on upgrades for your ship through new weapons, engines, or other items, even selecting different colors for your ship as well. All aspects of the game are rendered in 3D, and it looks beautiful during gameplay. The soundtrack is definitely rocking, with an 80s metal sound with a bit of a synth mixed in for good measure. The difficulty options are easy, medium, and hard, though hard seems to be unlocked through gameplay later on. One thing I will add about this game is that the easy mode really isn't easy per se. It's definitely a fun game, and with the upgrade options for your ship and weapons and such, it's a nice little twist on the game, but it's not forgiving at all. This is not an easy game. Next game we're going to talk about is called Shooting Love, 12 Zeal and Delta Zeal. The first game is 12 Zeal. It's a fun, more retro style vertical shoot 'em up that has a militaristic theme. The parallax scrolling background adds to the feel of depth when you can pay attention to it. The bomb in this game is very unique, as it doesn't just clear the screen. It's sort of a shield that does damage to bad guys inside of it as it expands on the screen while protecting you from shots. It's also a nice change that when the regular bad guys through the level are broken up as you're shooting them. What I mean by that is when you're laying waste to them, their ship is breaking apart or their armor is falling off. You can change the difficulty settings here from very easy, normal, hard, and very hard. As for display settings, you can zoom in on this one as well, and you can also run it in a tate mode too. As you're playing through the regular story mode, you'll unlock other gameplay modes as well, like a score attack. There's only one type of weapon upgrade as you're progressing, so there's no need to choose what you want to try and focus on as far as that goes. The background music can get a little tedious, but it's an option and you can turn it off as well. Some of the smaller guys on the levels do take a few more shots to take down, but it's not super inappropriate or anything. Overall, it's a very enjoyable retro style shoot 'em up. Now we're going to talk about Delta Zeal, the second half of Shooting Love. The upgrade in this game are a bit different than 12 Zeal, and they do come in 3 flavors of red, blue, or green. One is your regular shots, another is a heat seeker, and the other one is a laser. And all 3 of them upgrade at the same time, so you can just get them all and not have to worry about which one you want to try and get or dodge to. Bad guys are nicely varied, and they do go down a little bit easier in this one versus in 12 Zeal. One of the other nice aspects of the game is, even though it's an import, they're not shouting things at you in a foreign language. Everything is pretty easy to understand. It's another fun shoot 'em up, and I'm glad I have it in my collection. There you go, guys. 7 more great shoot 'em ups for the Xbox 360. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Other than that, have a good one and be good to each other. Thanks for watching.